It was Christmas Eve, just a regular afternoon in a small town in England, or what we call the UK over here. But think of it like any busy holiday season in the US, right before the big day. Our guy, let's call him Mark, a normal, hard-working dad in his 40s, pops into his local supermarket around 3:45 p.m. The store is closing early at 4 p.m. because of the holidays. He's just grabbing a few last-minute things, milk, bread, maybe some veggies for dinner. But then he spots this huge discount sign in the meat section. These big joints of meat, like roasts, big chunks of beef or pork, perfect for freezing, are super cheap because they're nearing their sell-by date over the long weekend. Mark thinks, hey, I've got tons of space in my freezer. At home, this is a steal. I can stock up and save money for months. So he loads up his cart with 12 of them. It's no big deal, right? The store is almost empty, hardly anyone around. He figures if he doesn't buy them, they'll just get thrown out. Anyway, Mark heads to the self-checkout, those machines where you scan your own stuff. Super common now. He scans every single joint carefully, pays with cash, gets his long receipt that proves everything. He's feeling good. Smart shopper. Saved a bunch of money and helped avoid waste. He bags it all up, grabs his other bits and pieces, and starts walking toward the exit. The store's quiet, holiday music playing softly, lights twinkling. He's thinking about getting home, wrapping up a few gifts, relaxing with the family. But as he gets close to the doors, a big security guard steps in front of him. The guard says, "Hold up, sir. When I check your bags and receipt," Mark's a bit surprised, but hands it over. He's got nothing to hide. The guard looks at the receipt, counts the meats, nods like everything matches, and says, "Sorry, mate, you can't leave with all that." Mark's confused. "What do you mean?" "Paid for it all, look at the receipt." The guard points to some tiny sign somewhere and says it's store policy. No more than 3 of any one item per customer. Mark explains it's a special offer. The meat's going out of date, the store's closing soon, nobody else is buying it. But the guard won't budge. Policy is policy. Gotta put some back. Mark says, "No way." He paid. It's his now. The argument starts heating up a little. Voices raised, but still calm. Mark asks to speak to the manager. The manager comes over, backs up the guard. "Yeah, that's our rule to make sure everyone gets a fair shot." Mark can't believe it. It's Christmas Eve, he's done nothing wrong, and now he's stuck inside the store with a cart full of meat he already owns. Little does he know, this is just the beginning of a total nightmare. Now Mark's getting frustrated. Tells him straight, "I paid with cash. The sale is done. This meat is mine. You can't keep me here." But the security guard blocks the door physically, arms crossed, saying he can't let him leave until they sort it out. Mark tries to reason. Points out the store's empty. It's closing in minutes. The meat would go to waste otherwise. He even mentions he's not reselling it or anything shady. It's just for his family's freezer. The manager offers to refund some and let him keep 3, but Mark refuses. Why should he? He followed all the rules. To more staff start gathering customers, who are left or staring. Mark feels embarrassed, like everyone's thinking he's a thief or something. Things escalate. Mark says, "Fine, I'm leaving now," and tries to push his cart past the guard. That's when the guard grabs his arm hard and pulls him back. "You're not going anywhere," Mark yells. "Get your hands off me. This is assault." He feels the grip tightening, tries to pull away, but the guard's strong and holds him roughly. Bruises start forming on his arms right there. Mark's heart is pounding. He's never been in a fight, never had trouble like this. He's shaking, angry, scared. The manager calls the police, saying there's a disruptive customer. Mark demands. They call the police too, thinking cops will see the receipt and sort it out quick. He pulls out his phone, takes photos of his arms where the bruises are already showing purple. Time drags on. Mark's forced to stand there near the exit, guarded like a criminal while the store starts closing up. Lights dimming, staff leaving. He's stuck for what feels like forever, actually 45 long minutes. His phone battery's low. He texts his wife, "Stuck at store. Big problem. Police coming." She's worried sick at home with the kids. Mark keeps calm on the outside, but inside he's fuming. How can a simple shopping trip turn into this? He thinks about the law. Once you pay, the stuff is yours, right? No hidden limits if they're not clear. This feels wrong, like kidnapping. Almost. Finally, sirens in the distance. The police are here. Mark thinks, thank God, this nightmare's over. 2 police officers walk in just as the store is locking up. Everyone's gone except Mark, the guard, and the manager.
Oh.
Mark explains everything calmly. The deal, paying at self-checkout, the receipt, the sudden policy, the grabbing. He shows the long receipt proving all 12 joints were paid for. Cash transaction complete. The cops check it against the bags. Everything matches perfectly. No theft, no issue there. Mark points to his arms. Look, bruises from the guard restraining me. I was assaulted and falsely imprisoned. Wants them to arrest the guard, or at least take a report? The officers talk to the manager and guard separately. The guard claims it was just policy enforcement, and he used reasonable force to stop Mark from leaving with too much. The manager backs it up, saying limits are to prevent hoarding or waste issues over holidays. The cops seem sympathetic to Mark at first. One says, yeah, once paid, it's yours. But then they say their hands are tied. No clear crime on Mark's side. And for the guard, it's a civil matter, not criminal. They won't arrest anyone or take action against the store right there. You can file a complaint later if you want. Mark's stunned. 45 minutes trapped, physically hurt, and nothing happens to the people who did it. Guard and manager to let Mark go. He loads his car with the 12 joints, drives home shaking with anger and relief, gets in the door, wife hugs him, kids ask why he's late, shows the bruises, tells the story, family's outraged. That night, Christmas Eve, supposed to be joyful, he's icing his arms and Googling laws on his phone. He learns about false imprisonment, basically being detained against your will, without legal reason, and assault. Thinks the store had no right once payment was made. He's upset, can't sleep. The meat goes in the freezer, but the bad taste lingers. Mark decides he can't let this go. Christmas Day comes, but Mark's not in the holiday spirit. Arms sore, big purple bruises he photographs again in better light. Family dinner's quiet. He's replaying the incident over and over. Wife says you should do something about this. Mark posts the story anonymously on Reddit in a legal advice forum for the UK. Title, something like the original. He explains everything, asks for advice on next steps, thinks maybe sue for assault or false imprisonment, or at least get an apology and compensation. The post blows up fast. Hundreds of comments pour in. Some people call him selfish. Why buy 12 when others might want some? But Mark updates. Store was empty, closing soon, meat would have been trashed. Most commenters side with him. Once you pay, it's yours. They can't detain you like that. It's false imprisonment. Report it. Security overstepped big time. Police should have done more. Stories from others. Similar things happening during sales or shortages. Advice floods in. Contact Citizens Advice Bureau. Complain to store head office. Maybe small claims court for bruises and distress. Mark feels validated reading the support. He's not crazy, but also hurt by the hate comments judging him without. Knowing details, he adds the extra info to his post. It was late, store empty, no one else affected. Comments shift more his way. He's still upset trauma from being grabbed, humiliated in public. Decides to take photos to doctor for records, gather evidence.
Mark
thinks
follows
about
the
the bigger
Reddit
picture.
advice.
Stores making
Writes
up
formal
rules,
complaint to
security
supermarket
thinking
chains,
they're
customer service,
cops.
and head office.
This
Includes
could have
photos
happened
of
to anyone
bruises,
grabbing a good
receipt
deal.
copy, timeline, demands apology, compensation for injury and distress, maybe staff training, also reports to police again for assault record. Contacts Free Legal Advice Service, learns he might have a case for unlawful detention since no theft suspicion after payment. Store responds eventually. Sorry for any upset, but defends policy and guards actions. Offers gift card small amount. Mark's not satisfied. Escalates. Some suggest media, but he wants quiet resolution. Bruises fade, but memory doesn't. He freezes the meat perfectly. Eats great roasts for months. Small win. Tells friends the story as warning. Always keep receipts. Know your rights. In the end, Mark reflects. A simple act of smart shopping turned into ordeal because of unclear rules and overzealous staff. Key lesson: in places like the UK or US, once you pay fairly, goods are yours. No secret limits can trap you after that. He hopes sharing the story helps others stand up. Christmas was ruined that year, but he got stronger, more aware, and that meat tasted like victory every time. Moral: don't let big stores bully regular people. Know your rights. Speak up. You might just win. Thanks for listening to this wild, true story. What would you have done? Drop a comment below.